Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Jake Break. Coming to you live here, back to our usual scheduled recording time on a Sunday evening because we had some exciting football over the weekend. Exciting stuff just happening in life in general, so we wanted to make sure we waited to the last possible minute to record to capture all that good stuff. So, how are we doing this evening, Trent?
Oh, we're doing. I think we're both dragging a little bit, but I am beat to say the least. Wild weekend, but yeah, football did not disappoint. We'll dive into that here in a little bit.
Yeah, overall, it really didn't. I mean, other than one key game, but like you said, we'll get into that in a little bit here. But
Yeah.
first of all, like you mentioned, some amazing football this weekend. And I'm not sure if I said this already, but welcome to episode 27. We're excited to have you on board. If it's your first episode, buckle up. It's bound to be something. But yeah, this weekend, obviously we saw, being Sunday night now, we saw the college football playoff bracket being released. We saw some conference championship games, bring some excitement and some potential controversy in college football. But before we get into that, though, I think we need to discuss a little bit, some of the changes, right? So folks that maybe aren't familiar with it, college football, changed last year, the 12-team playoff, and this year, they changed it so the four conference champions are the top four seeds, which I'm 100% in agreement with. Like, what we saw last year wasn't brilliant, but it wasn't bad. I think at the end of the year, the team that should have won. But this year, looking at the playoffs, we had some exciting games to watch, like the ACC game, to see how that shook out and, got those last couple teams in. Looking at the bracket, obviously there's some teams that, no doubt, in my mind, made it that should have made it. There's always controversy every year you look at it. But I guess looking at the bracket, big picture, Trent, what are you seeing? What's your takes on it? Anything that sort of grinds your gears or doesn't make sense?
I mean, I think they, like you mentioned earlier, they made a good change for this year, so that way the conference champions don't get by first round.
Yeah.
But since they have that loophole in there, that the top 5 ranked conference championships automatically get a bid in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I 100% agree with that, because at the end of the day, I think if you're a conference champion, you should be ranked in the top 12 regardless. So I'm kind of in the standpoint of get rid of that and just let it be the top 12 teams. You can be the Sun Belt champ, you can be the American champ, and if you're not ranked top 12, too bad, so sad. You know what I mean? I would much rather see a team like Georgia that goes 8-4, that is playing a really tough schedule, make it into the college playoff, than a team that's 12-0 or 11-1 that has played nobody. So I really hope the committee in the next couple of years make a change and make a very strong stand, like make a statement saying that strength of schedule is going to be the biggest factor into the bracket. So that way, hopefully, we start seeing more competitive college football in the next 5 years.
Right.
Because I don't know about you, I don't like seeing Ohio State go play a team and win 72-0.
Yeah.
I don't like that. So I think if the committee makes that clear, then as the athletic directors and they make their schedules, they are going to start. You can in 2-3 years you can't depict what teams are going to be, where they're going to be ranked that year. But again, instead of playing Akron, maybe you go play Clemson, or instead of playing Appalachian State, you go play Georgia.
Right.
I want to see more competition in college football, so I think they need to do straight top 12 teams. But again, congrats to Tulane and JMU for both making it in. We'll see if they can, cause any shakeup in the playoff. But in my mind, Ole Miss is too good for Tulane. And then on the flip side, I mean, Oregon, it's decent team. I wouldn't say they're.
They aren't the Oregon of last year, I don't think.
No.
Yeah.
Could JMU throw an upset there? Possibly, but then they go to Texas Tech, and I don't think they're either Oregon or JMU is being Texas Tech. They are phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I could be wrong. That's the nice thing about college football is it's, especially during playoffs, there's usually very good competition. Anything can happen. But yeah, I watched the Big Ten championship game. That's what I was most excited for, and I think anyone in college football was most excited for that game. And it did not disappoint. Man,
Yeah.
it was like
True 1 versus 2 matchup there.
It was like Christmas morning, watching a 37-yard field goal get yanked wide left by Ohio State.
Yeah.
I mean, when Indiana the drive before missed a field goal, like 50-yarder, I was like, oh, that's huge. And then when they drove down, and not to go for it in fourth. I mean, they got stopped on 4th and 1 in the third quarter. Ohio State did, so I understand why they didn't go for it 4th and 1 there. But like, come on, Ryan Day. Like, you're about swinging for the fences. You got Jeremiah Smith. Let's go for it. But settle for the field goal, and he yanks it wide left.
Mm-hmm. Do
I say I feel bad for the guy? Not one bit. Nope. That was fantastic. Absolutely awesome. But
Yeah.
I'm kind of scared because I think it's going to light a fire under their seats, and then they're going to come through and just clean house. But
Well, that's the thing with Ohio State. As much as it pains me to say this, anytime they have any kind of controversy or like somebody, not saying that they're the best out there, I'm trying to think of the right word here. If there's any doubt, struggling with words here this evening. If there's any doubt with Ohio State that particular year, that season, it always seems like you said, there's a fire that just ignites and they just go off then. And I hope that that's not the case this year. I really hope not, because I don't think America can stand to have Ohio State win another national championship in recent history.
And to be honest with you, I think Ohio State getting bumped on 2, they have an easier spot in the playoff.
Oh yeah,
because Ohio State's going to face Miami or Texas A&M. Whereas Indiana gets Alabama or Oklahoma. To me, I think Alabama and Oklahoma are the tougher opponents. But also on the flip side, for some reason, I think if Indiana would have lost that game, they would have got bumped to 3 or 4. I don't think they would have stayed at 2.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's up to the committee. They get paid a lot more money. No. They study this all day, every day. So we'll see how it shakes out. But
yeah, and I think at the end of the day, I love the change that they made of not making the top 4 be those top 4 conference champs, because I think that was a disastrous idea. It makes sense and it sounds good, because I think their ultimate mission at the end of the day is they want to get some new teams into the playoffs, right? When it was 4 teams, you knew there was going to be 3 solid ones every single year. We don't have to name any names, but we knew that every year 3 of the 4 were going to be basically the same team for a stretch there, right?
Yeah.
Now I think they want to try and incorporate some teams that historically have never had a chance to be in the playoffs, or, if they stayed in the 4-team format, we're never going to have a chance to make it. I totally get that. But it's much different than basketball, right? You have 64 teams. You're going to have some teams that probably aren't going to do much damage in there, but you might have a Cinderella story like a Loyola Chicago a couple years ago or something like that.
Yep.
But with football, it's so hard to do that because you're playing 1 game a week, right? So it's like, I agree with you. You got to figure out a way, if you want to incorporate these, what we'll call, strong conferences, like, outside your Big Ten, SEC, ACC even, to figure out a way to incorporate them, but also not punish teams that probably should be in ahead of them.
Yep.
And I don't know how you do that.
The way I look at it, too, it's like, I'm not upset with this bracket by any means, because any bracket they put out, people are going to complain. You're never going to appease everybody. But, like, do I feel bad Notre Dame got snubbed? No. Notre Dame rubs me the wrong way. I don't really know why. It's like, join a conference. If you think you're so good and you're going to win a national championship every year, join a conference, win the championship in that conference, and you'll be in the college football playoff. Now, do I think Notre Dame's a bad team? No. Do I think they're better than some of the teams in this playoff? Maybe. But at the end of the day, independent. I don't know. I just don't like how. Because I think when they decided on this new college football playoff bracket, they had commissioners from each of the power conferences, plus the athletic director from Notre Dame. Because everybody had to be present for each conference, and since Notre Dame wasn't in the conference, their athletic director had to be present for the voting on this new bracket or the new system.
Right. And, I mean, people can make the argument, oh, they should be in because they only have 2 losses, like they've beaten some opponents. But realistically, like, their first 2 games of the season, they lost to Texas A&M and Miami. And Miami's in. Texas A&M was a solid team this year.
Oh.
They're not in. Or, excuse me. They're in as the 7th seed. So I can see the argument, yeah, we lost to 2 quality opponents. But then the rest of the year, you go down the list: Purdue, Arkansas, Boise State, NC State, Boston College, Navy. I mean, realistically, the only ranked teams at that time that they had played was USC and Pitt. And they're outside that, they're at that time were 20 and higher. So it's like, they're not really winning the appeal from the committee by beating up on these teams that at that point they might as well just join the ACC, because half their schedule was ACC people. If they're, like you said, if they're that good, join the ACC, beat up on them, be a conference champ, and state your case.
Yep.
But in the meantime, I don't want to hear any complaining from them either, because it's like you could solve the solution to this very simply.
Yeah. Yeah, and like BYU, I don't feel a certain way about that. Texas, again, Texas had some big losses this year. It's just crazy that top 2 teams, Penn State and Texas, preseason, both missed the playoff. It's nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll move on from college football, but I think that was a decent bracket. I don't think there was much heat around it compared to last year. Last year there was a lot. There was a lot of heat about it. But twisting off of that, Penn State finally made a head coaching decision.
The saga is over.
Day by day, I was getting, I think, more nervous, but then more excited, because I'm like, either they're bringing in a hammer, like they're bringing in someone big, and they're keeping it disclosed. But then I was also like watching all of these coaches getting taken off the board. Like my thought of who was coming next. Next thing I know, I see is a post of, oh, they're going to here, they're going to here. I'm like, what in the world? But then I was getting more excited because I'm like, maybe we're giving Terry Smith a shot. You know? Right. But then we settled on Matt Campbell. I'm not upset about that. Mm-hmm. He has about the same record as James Franklin, or a little bit better, in top 25 and top 10 opponents, I believe, while he was at Iowa State. Now, a lot of people are like, why would you hire a coach that has the same record as top 25 teams? You have to look at it. James Franklin did that with Penn State, whereas Matt Campbell did it with Iowa State. There is a giant difference between funding between both of those programs and also the players that they have. So when you can do more with less, kind of like what Curt Cignetti did with Indiana, that's a Cinderella story that it might be, if they go on to win the national championship this year, it may be the greatest run in history of college football.
I mean,
what he has done to that
they've
program.
never been ranked number 1, right?
No, I don't think so.
And I think this was their first Big Ten title win since, I mean, it was like 50
Forever.
years ago.
Yeah, they were like the second most losingest. I think this, when I was watching the game last night, I think Ohio State was the second most winningest program ever in college football, and Indiana is the second most losing program in college football, in history. So that's awesome. But back to Matt Campbell, I'm excited. He has a mentality about him that I think Penn State needs. I'm also very excited that we signed Terry Smith to stay on the staff, because he got several offers to be a head coach other places.
Right.
So, and I didn't think he would leave, because you can tell that he bleeds blue and white. He is all about Penn State.
It was a good culture move for sure to keep him on board, because, like you said, the players love him.
Yeah. So I think I mean, it's going to be a transition, and now Matt Campbell and Terry Smith and the whole staff have to get on recruiting because right now we are in shambles. We are like the last team in college football as far as recruits. Right. But like, hats off to James Franklin. What he has done in Virginia Tech so far in recruiting, unbelievable.
Oh yeah, and I mean he's been a masterclass as far as recruiting goes everywhere.
And the one thing I will say about James Franklin is he is a great salesman.
Oh yeah.
Great with his words, great with interviews, great for selling their program, but when it comes down to those big games, being a salesman only gets you so far. Right. So I'm going to be very excited to see what Campbell and Smith can cook up here in the coming months to try to flip some recruits and get some, once the transfer portal hits, get some quality players back in and rebuild this program in the offseason.
Well, I think they just needed a complete, clean slate, right? Just completely detached.
Well, I think I think Knowles is out because I think Campbell is bringing his defensive coordinator along with him. Mm-hmm. Not sure about Kotelnicki yet. I honestly think Kotelnicki should hit the highway, and Matt Campbell should start fresh. Right. I think if we're going this deep into it, we need to start from square one and have who Campbell wants to have, right? Bring someone in you either had a prior relationship with or someone that you trust completely to be your right-hand man as offensive coordinator. But we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the hire as well. It's just like, hey, he's proven himself as a winning coach in a program that historically had not won whatsoever. Leaves with a winning record. Strong conference play record, after he got the program established. He's not a big, flashy, big guy, like big name guy. I was concerned that they were going to hire somebody because they had the resources to go big on somebody, that they were going to hire a big name to bring a big flash to the program. And realistically, you and I both know they don't need that for that program. Yeah. They didn't win a national championship recently or anything like that, but it's a big enough school within the Big Ten. And they have the resources. You don't need to have a big splash name. This is me. I was thinking if it got down to the wire deep enough, they were going to hire somebody like a John Gruden or an Urban Meyer.
Yep.
Honest to God. Like, I truly thought it was going to be a big name like that just to get the attention and the flair back. But, he's a blue-collar guy, Matt Campbell. I'm a fan of him. I think he's a good fit for the program. I think he's going to continue to build that culture and make it even better. Because at Iowa State, he didn't have the resources that he's going to have now at Penn State. So, that's going to be a question mark, obviously. How is he going to manage that? Is he the right guy for that? But at the end of the day, he has a proven winning record at a school that historically could not win. And he has all the resources in front of him now to really elevate that. So, and other coaches at big programs now have done the same thing. So it only makes sense.
Yeah, and I think it's going to take – I think with this coaching move, I think it's going to take a year for a lot of recruits to regain their trust in Penn State. I think a lot of recruits are going to – they were a little fearful of all the change, and I think it's going to take a year to 2 years for Matt Campbell to prove himself. Next year is going to be huge. Next year is probably the most important year for the next 5 years of Penn State football.
Right.
Because if they take a crap next year, the next 2-3 years of recruits and transfers are going down the drain. Unless they have a crap ton of money to spend and players, because we see that shift now. Players aren't just coming to get developed as a player and a young man to get drafted in the NFL. A lot of these players are signing where they're going to get the biggest bag. Do I blame them? No. I kind of wish that it was back like the old days where players wanted to go to win a national championship. But that's just not with the NIL anymore. How it's playing out. But
you're not seeing teams with a depth chart of 3 or 4 guys that could all start somewhere. Like you're just not seeing that.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, but it's gonna be. I'm excited for next year already to see how it pans out.
Good deal. Well, I'm fired up.
Last thing I guess we can talk about is Penn State's bowl game, December 27th, Clemson, in Yankee Stadium.
Ugh.
You know, some of the most desirable tickets in football are at midfield, right?
Yep.
I don't know if you've looked at the picture of the way the layout is. Midfield is going to be at first base and third base.
Okay.
And you're way off the dang field. You can be in the first row at midfield, and you're going to need binoculars to see the football.
I didn't even think about that. You're right. Like, if you're out in the outfield, I mean, that's you're miles away from the football field.
Center field and home plate are going to be end zones.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's gonna be cold. It'd be cool playing in a baseball field like that. I mean, that's unique.
Yeah.
It's in the Pinstripe Bowl, December 27th, I believe. So, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that'll be a good game to watch. Not one I would want to attend, I don't think, because I'm pretty sure if I walked into Yankee Stadium and didn't have a Red Sox jersey on, I'd just ignite into flames. But it'll be a good game. I mean, Clemson had an okay year. They weren't amazing. I think they were another team that just sort of fell flat this year.
Yeah.
So it'll be a good game. I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, but spinning off of college football, NFL, not anything crazy. The only thing I'll say about NFL that surprised me, the Colts fell off. The Colts season's over. They were looking so promising. Their season is done. Daniel Jones tore his Achilles today. Or maybe it's not torn, but
definitely some kind of Achilles injury.
Yeah, I think he's undergoing surgery out for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
But other than that, Jake, you want to talk about Cowboys and Lions?
Unfortunately. Dude, I'm telling you what. I was riding such a high on the Cowboys, man. It was so fun to watch them. I thought we were back. We made the trades. Jerry's a genius. Like, we're looking amazing. And then we go right back to our old ways, man. Right back to it. And we just get absolutely spanked by the Lions. Like, it was not even a game. And then, to make matters worse, C.D. Lamb goes out with, concussion protocol. George Pickens kind of disappears in the second half. It was a disaster, dude. Like, no other way to put it. I mean, the defense couldn't catch water in a 5-gallon bucket if it was raining outside. I mean, it was awful, dude. I mean, the worst performance potential. And I get it. The Lions offensively have weapons. But by God, it was like, the NFL All-Star team was facing up against a local high school. It was just a disaster, man. Not a whole lot to say about it, because I was thinking if we win that game and we win out, we're in the playoffs.
Yep.
And we can do some damage. Well, now with that loss, the only realistic hope that we have is if we get some help from some teams in the wild card positions now to lose, or if Philly continues to lose and we win out, which I think is a real possibility because Philly has not looked good these last few weeks. We'll see tomorrow night with the Chargers, see if they can win. But that's the only hope right now. It's looking bleak in the Big D right now for the Cowboys.
Do you want to know what I think about why the Cowboys lost that game?
Let's hear it.
Don't get me wrong, defense played like garbage, okay? But you understand as well as I do, the Lions offense is also up there with some of the most boring offense there is to watch in the NFL.
Yeah.
5 to 10 yard slants.
It's all yards after catch.
Yeah, but they're quick. They are quick. Jahmyr Gibbs, guy's a demon. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got Goff, who isn't throwing many long balls, but he's great in zone coverage.
Yeah, he's a facilitator.
And he's gonna find those gaps in zone, or if it's man, he's gonna find the guy that's open and throw a 5-yard pass, and then they're gonna get, say, only 2 yards after throw, do it again, get a first down. It is a very smart offensive scheme, especially against a defense like the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
But what I think got them, where was Dallas rushing at?
Oh, running the football?
Yeah, they couldn't rush the ball to save their life.
It's because we got so far behind so early that they just abandoned the run. Like, and all of our offense is based off of play action, right? And they ran the ball decent, but they just got into such a big hole that it was like we don't have the time to run anymore.
Well, I think. Let me see here. So, they passed, right? 376 yards. Passing. You want to take a guess on... They rushed for 91. To me, I think you got to get Williams in the game. And I understand you find yourself in a hole, but you got to keep them honest. Because especially once... CD was having a heck of a game because they were locking down Pickens.
Yeah.
That's the best thing about that wide receiver duo. When they're locking down CD, Pickens is going to go off for 150.
Right.
It's fantastic. If it was only one of them, they're going to get screwed. I mean, you even saw it once CD was down. When they only have Pickens, essentially, they're going to lock him up. So when you have a wide receiver duo like that, you need to get the run game. I mean, most teams that win off the line in the rush game, they're going to win the game.
Right.
But it was an exciting game to watch. But it was I can imagine very disappointing as a Cowboys fan. Especially the high you've been coming off of, and it was looking pretty for the playoff picture, and it just didn't happen.
And I thought, Eberflus has got to go. And then after we make the trades, I'm like, this guy might be on to something. We get some injuries back. I mean, this guy might be all right. After last week, I am back on the bandwagon of he's got to go. It just ain't working, and it was bad. It was no other way to put it. I mean, it's looking bleak now. I don't even know if we'll be sniffing the playoffs anymore at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, it was bad.
But I think that's enough for football for now, for our listeners who don't like football. But because you went up to your camp for deer season, right?
Yeah, so last week, that's why the episode came a little earlier. We missed some of the football chatter. We were up at camp trying to chase after them elusive whitetails. No luck on my end. Saw a couple, but that's about the extent of it. But deer season so far, I'm coming out empty-handed. I did not go at all during archery. Rifle season, I've seen a couple just not real great opportunities or good luck there. But I don't know. You've been off to a hot and fast and furious start here.
Yeah, I spent a lot of hours in the tree during archery season. Well, not a lot compared to my previous years, but I'd say a lot for having a infant. And I had a bunch of encounters. Just it never panned out, either too far or crap happening.
Yeah.
For example, I had a giant 6-point at 7 yards, and my release blew up when I was drawing back on them. So that's how my archery season went. But other than that, yeah, I went out Monday for the first time in rifle, and I shot a doe right away in the morning. And then I went back out Monday evening, but didn't get a shot on anything. And then I went out Tuesday morning, and I shot a 7-point, I guess, if you want to call it. It's kind of a weird buck, but I shot a 7-point Tuesday morning. So yeah, I have a couple tags left, but I think I'm done for right now. I'm going to wait for late season.
Well, and late season's so fun too, because then they start herding up together, and it's always a good time. Plus, at that point in time, you hope for a little snow on the ground. Exactly. And we have some now, but up in the mountains and everything. But it's just a blast that time of year too, with flintlock and all the good stuff. So,
yep.
But we'll see. I don't know. I'll be curious to see if anybody in our listenership had any luck here, if they're in Pennsylvania or wherever they may find themselves during deer season here. Send us some pictures or let us know if anybody's had any luck out there. Because unfortunately, I have not, but Trent's been tearing it up and filling the freezer, and that's what we're all about, baby.
That's right. I took 2 hindquarters, 1 quarter for dried chipped venison, for people like the dried chipped beef gravy, so we're doing that with venison, and then the other quarter is going into minute steaks, so like real thinly shaved stuff on the black stone, which will be nice.
Oh, heck yeah.
But then I kept a good bit of roast, kept the back straps, and then the rest, so I had 4 front quarters and 2 other hind quarters, and I got just right around 50 pounds of venison. So I'm getting that made in a whole bunch of different stuff, which I usually do my own, but like this year with a kid, I just don't have the time to do it myself. Because it takes, if anyone who does your own, it takes time, like especially to do all the grinding and then the mixing and then the smoking and stuffing. And if I didn't have a child, you better believe I'm doing all that my own. But this year I don't have it, so I'm getting someone else to make it for me.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, hopefully we'll get out together in the late season and put 1 or 2 on the ground.
That's the goal. That's the game plan. We'll see if it comes to fruition or not. But that's what we're game planning for right now. But good deal. Well, hopefully for those of you that did go out hunting at all, hopefully you had some good luck or saw some deer or just enjoyed some time out in the woods. I mean, heck, I just enjoy just getting out and taking it easy up in the mountains, up in the tree stand. You can't hardly beat that. So.
Yeah, I think it was Monday morning. I think I was in an hour and a half before light.
Mm-hmm. And
where I was hunting, I'm sorry, like I hate to be this guy, but where I was hunting, I have a 30-second walk from my truck. It's not usually me. I'm usually hiking 3 miles back in, but this place that I got the opportunity to hunt, 30 seconds walk from the truck, but I woke up and I was so excited to just go sit. Just sit there with my thoughts in the wind. And I woke up early. I was like, well, I'm not going back to bed for 45 minutes. Like, I'm just going to get up. I'm going to go sit in the dark. There's something about it, man. It's healing, if you want to put it that way. But I could just sit there in the dark for hours.
Absolutely. Like, I saw this quote the other day. I forget who it was even from. I'll have to do some digging to see if I can find it again. But it was really cool. The guy basically said he loves hunting because he said he feels like he walks out with less than what he brought in. Yeah. And if you think about that, like that's deep, but it's so true. Like you mentioned there, I mean, you're there. I mean, there's people that are scrolling on their phones the whole time and stuff, but I'm not that guy. I just like sitting there and enjoying the silence and the peace and your thoughts. So.
Yeah, I saw that quote a while back, and it's so true. Because it was something like, the one I saw was like, wife says, why do you enjoy hunting so much? And then the guy says, like, my wife may never fully understand that I come home with much less weight than what I take in, and she'll never fully understand that. I'm like, that is so true.
Yeah. That's why I say, like, heck, I don't even need to get something every single time I go hunting, and because it's just it's healing.
That's right.
It's good. So if you never have gone, heck, just go out there, sit in a tree stand, and just enjoy the time out in the woods. So I love it. But, well, good deal. Well, if you had any luck this year, please let us know. We'd be curious to see and celebrating that excitement for you and your family or just yourself. So let us know how the hunting season went. But without further ado, we'll just jump right into our 2 most famous segments of the show, Trent. Of course, we got to talk about the gas and brake segment. Last week, we had some exciting things going on in our lives. And even this weekend. So I anticipate the gas and brake this week is going to be exciting. If you want to lead the charge, you are more than welcome to, but I am also happy to go on it.
All right, you go first, Kinzer.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is pretty generic, but I am going brakes on this entire past week, dude. There's just sometimes where some weeks you're just sitting there at the end of the week shaking your head like, what the world is going on?
How am I still here kind of deal?
And I won't even get into all the details of last week, but just to give you some highlights, I slipped and fell, cut my finger as I fell, so my finger was bleeding, and like I discussed with the tin can, I don't do well with blood, so that was just the icing on the cake. And then because I just had my other finger cut on my other hand, so then I cut my finger on the other hand now, and when I fell, I slipped and fell on my tailbone. You want to talk about pain? A bruised tailbone might be the worst thing known to mankind. Like, So the first day, the day it happened, like it was sore, but it wasn't bad. Next day was a little sore, wasn't bad. And yesterday, so this happened Thursday. Yesterday, I was like, man, dang, this hurts. Like, I can't hardly tolerate this. And then also I was hiking all over the mountain and stuff, hunting, so that didn't help the cause either. Today, it's struggling. Like last night, I could not lay flat on my back a little bit because it wasn't like painful, but it was just sore.
Yeah.
And it's just awful. And then, like we talked earlier, the Cowboys lost. So, the only positive from this weekend that helped recover it was I had another symphony ticket to go to, and it was Frank Sinatra and like that kind of style music. And I love Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, all them guys. I love it. But this week, I'm going full brakes on this week, dude. This past week was just one for the ages that can just stay in the past. So here's to this week being better.
Yeah, the bruised tailbone, I can relate to that. You know the MVets, right?
Oh, yeah.
Upstream, where there's like a little riffly waterfall section, and how that's all like flat slate rock.
Oh, yeah.
7th grade, I was fishing there during preseason.
Okay.
I was in Crocs, standing on that one large, giant flat rock that's submerged by half an inch of water.
Mm-hmm.
I took a step on moss and fell. The first thing that hit that giant rock was my tailbone.
Oh, my gosh.
It was a pain. I thought I shattered my tailbone. It was a pain that I can't even comprehend. It like takes your breath away every time you move.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't do anything without being in pain, and that's when we were running a lot. So during practice, I was just miserable. I thought I was going to die. So I can fully relate to the bruised tailbone. That is a pain that I will never forget.
It's awful, dude. Like I wouldn't wish it against my worst enemy.
Yeah.
That or paper cuts. I mean, it's in the same category in my book.
I would take 100 paper cuts over a bruised tailbone.
That's true.
Dude.
Like today, when I was sitting down in the seats at the symphony, I was like crouching real low. I was like, oh my gosh, these people will probably think I'm some crazy person or something. But it was like I was taking it slow and steady, sitting down in them cushion seats.
Yeah, I feel you on that one.
Yeah.
All right, well, Jake, this week I'm pumping the brakes too. But I'm pumping the brakes on flat tires. Because, I don't know about you, but I have a feeling that most people, when you get a flat tire, it's always in the most inconvenient times. Right? Like, this wasn't the most inconvenient, but it was still inconvenient. Like, it can never just happen on a Saturday morning where you have nothing planned. You go outside to get a breath of fresh air with your coffee and you see a flat tire. And you're like, oh, I got all day to take care of this. So my wife and we had to go. Well, I was up early with the kiddo this morning and then blowing leaves and doing household crap. And then we had to go up and get family pictures back home. So, plan to leave 15 minutes early so we can get there, get the kid fed, change into his outfit, get pictures taken, right? And for any of you parents out there, like, I'm always on time. And by on time, I usually mean like 15 minutes early. Like, I'm never late.
Right.
But with a kid, it's a whole different story. Like, stuff just happens and you end up running right on time or late. So we get in the car and start driving. And when I backed out of the driveway, I'm like, her steering felt a little funky. But I haven't driven her car in a couple days. So maybe I'm just used to my truck. Well, I go across the intersection, go about close to getting on 83, and I'm like, I'm going to check her little computer program thing here. I had 11 PSI in my front left tire.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So I quick gave her a turn into the nearest parking lot, and I got out, and I was like, oh, yeah. Yep, we're going back home, and we're loaded. And we had the whole car loaded, right? Like, with him and his diaper bag and outfits and, bottles and just all the stuff for an infant, right? And so we and we were already cutting it close. We were going to get there like 10, 15 minutes early. So we shoot back to the house, do a speed, pit crew change, throw everything in the truck, get out the door. But the funny thing was, a week ago, or a couple nights ago, she said that her one tire, this time of year when it's cold, everyone's PSI in their tires usually drops a little bit.
Right.
So her tires are supposed to be like 33 to 35 psi. Well, the one was at 29. The front left was at 29 psi.
Okay.
So, or the front right was. So I put air in it, got them all up to 35. But when I was filling them all up, topped them all up to 35. The front left one, I used the rudder's free air.
Yeah.
So when I put the, whatever you want to call it, everyone calls it different. But when I put the nozzle on to fill the air, right, machine beeped like it was done. So I went to pull it off, and it was stuck. It got stuck on the valve stem. And I don't mean like a little stuck, like it was stuck. So I'm there kind of wiggling, because those valve stems, if you break it, your air's gone.
Yeah.
So I just jostle it around and do a little magic, and it finally comes off. No leaks whatsoever, right? So I'm like, all's well. Check the air pressure, all tires 35 psi. Great. Well, then the next 2 days later, she's like, my tire went down to 28, my front left. I was like, oh, well, maybe the machine, that was the last one I did, maybe the machine wasn't reading right. I'll top it off here next day. Well, then the front left was the one that was flat today. So I was like, son of a gun, I broke that valve stem. When I got stuck, when I broke, like, it wasn't my fault, like, because you know how people with those free ones, they just jam them on there. The internals of it are probably all screwed up, and the pin isn't right, because the pin pushes the center pin back and be able to push air in.
Right.
So I thought maybe something in there was bent, and it bent that valve stem. So I was like, okay, great, well, I'll fix it later. But we had an extra spare wheel and tire for her vehicle back home, so I actually brought that along just in case it wasn't the valve stem.
Mm-hmm.
So I quick did a little tire change tonight. And when I got it off, I took the valve stem cover off, and I looked at the stem inside. And I'm like, oh, it looks fine. When you push it in, hisses, let it out, it stops. So then I rotate the tire around. She got a screw in her tire. Like, son of a gun.
That's the worst, dude.
Yeah, so I thought it was the valve stem all along because it got stuck on there. No, because like for those of you who don't know, the inside of a valve stem there's a needle. And if that needle gets bent a little bit, it can leak. So I thought that was bent. So I was just they spin out, they thread out. So I got some up at the farm. I was just gonna thread a new one in. Nope, it looks like a Tapcon hex head 3/8 inch screw right in the tire. So
that's awful.
Yeah. So I'm going all brakes on flat tires.
I'd agree with you on that one. I've had my first experience with one this past year as well, and it's not a good time.
But it was much better than like where I noticed it, because like if we would have been on 83,
oh yeah,
and like a flat that'd have been bad. Yeah. And like we had luckily from a previous thing, we had a spare wheel and tire full size, so like we didn't have to worry about a donut or anything. So she's ready to rock with that, and I'll patch it up tomorrow or the next day, and she'll be back with the nice shiny one. So
good deal.
Yeah, but
that's a good break. That's one I wouldn't have thought of. So whenever you said you had that experience, that's a solid pick there.
Yeah.
But okay, well, going on to the next segment here, the blind draft. Trent, do you want to recap last week's and tell the folks what we're doing this week?
Yeah, so I need to change this here quick. So last week we did board games, right? And I'll preface this by saying I'm not upset about this at all, because last week, like we both said, that was the most fun I think I've had on a blind draft. It was just reminiscing about childhood, the good old times when you didn't have bills, or you weren't stressing about anything other than what you were going to play the next day, or what you were going to do at recess, right? So it was just a super fun time for me. So we did board games, and Jake, you cleaned house 73% to 27%. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I don't know if it was Operation that took it for you.
I don't know. I thought you had a pretty solid list.
Yeah, but
honestly,
that's why I said I'm not mad at all, because I felt like both of our lists were so strong.
Yeah.
That I'm not even upset about it. So now overall, I have 12 wins. You have 10. We have 2 ties, and the special guests have 2. So that gets you 2 behind me, because you were on a heater there for a minute.
I was.
So maybe you're back on the train.
Well, and so the special guest that won, Tim, the most recent special guest. He wants back on.
Yeah.
He wants back on to participate in the segment that you're trying to put together for me. So he wants to participate in that.
Alrighty.
So we'll see. I'm not sure how the blind draft will work during that segment that you're preparing, but
I got a few
I'll
ideas.
leave that up to you.
I got a few ideas up my sleeve, Jake.
Oh gosh.
We might have discussed one earlier tonight.
I don't know. We'll chat. We'll chat about that. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. So yeah, we'll figure that out.
But this week, Jake, we're doing the top sports you enjoy watching.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited for this one.
So, not playing sports, the sports that you enjoy to watch.
And
So-
are we doing like just? I mean, like it's not college, pro. It's that sport, right?
I think we make that decision when one of us makes a pick.
I like it.
I think it. For me personally, I think it depends on the sport.
I agree. That's a good point. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
Yeah, we'll talk about it once we start making our picks.
Yeah.
But I think I flipped a coin this week.
I think so. Yeah.
Flip a coin.
Heads.
It's heads. It doesn't read out, so I was going to make you pick afterwards, but yeah, it's heads. So you can let it rip, Jake.
So there's one pick in my mind that I love watching. I watch it almost all the time, but I don't think you're going to pick it. So I'm not going to pick it number one.
Okay.
See, so my first pick, this is where I'm thinking. So this is where I asked that first question. So my first pick, I'm going to have to go with college basketball.
Okay. And I think that's a smart one. I think we do it so basketball is one that we definitely have to do pro in college.
Yeah, two
Because
different.
It's completely two different realms. So you're going college basketball.
Yep, that's my first pick.
Okay. Well, in turn, I'm going college football.
Okay.
Do you agree that football is one also we should do pro in college?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Number two, I'm going to go with pro football. So NFL.
All right. I know your next two. Like, I know if I pick one, you're going to pick one other one. And if I pick that one, you're going to pick this other one. This is tough. I think I got to go Major League Baseball.
Ooh, okay. That's not one that I thought you were going to pick, but I like it.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to either, but I think I have to.
So, my next pick, UFC.
So I was between I was between UFC and baseball.
See, I would have thought you would have picked UFC first.
Well,
That's
I would.
just my opinion.
Well, the thing was, I would have, but I knew most likely you were going to take baseball, so I was trying to take. I was hoping UFC was going to slip through the cracks, but I knew it wasn't going to. So after UFC, I have to go golf.
Oh man, that's a good one. All right, number 4, I'm going to pick hockey, like NHL, ice hockey.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think you locked this one up, Jake. That first pick was like the number one pick for this week was huge.
Well, and there's like a whole side of sports. Maybe I shouldn't say this. That we're not even encapsulating like with the Olympics and stuff.
Yeah.
Which I guess we'll probably do an Olympic Games one, but
this is tough. I think I have to go NBA.
okay. That's a good pick.
Even
good
though
pick.
I think the NBA in the past 10 years has gone down the drain. Just like hype around the NBA, but I think I have to.
Well, my fifth pick, I don't anticipate you picking. Maybe you would have. I'm not sure, but I am fired up. So there was two of them. My last two picks were ones that I'm like, I don't think he's going to pick them, but maybe he will. Number 5, I'm going to go with. I don't know if I should be really specific or not. I don't know if this is one you were thinking of, but like I'll go specific. Sprint car racing.
Okay. So you got sprint car racing.
Yep. I was going to go like all dirt track racing, but I'm like, nah, he might like one of them, so I didn't go that route.
Yeah, I gotta go soccer.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about soccer. And that's one I feel like you can do all levels. Right? International.
Yeah,
because
like
there's so much.
Soccer's a difficult one because you could go Premier League, you could go MLS, you could go international if you just wanted to strictly do like World Cup, because a lot of people when they watch soccer, the World Cup is mainly what they watch. And some people only care about Premier League. They could give two craps what MLS is doing. So, yeah, my list: college football 1, MLB 2, golf 3, NBA 4, and soccer 5.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, don't sell yourself short there. That's a solid list. I mean, that's not a top heavy one. I mean, you're coming out strong with 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But 3 through 5 is looking pretty good too. Didn't even. I'll be honest with you. I didn't even think about NBA. Like that's such a popular one that I don't know how that fell down to 4.
Yeah.
That's a good pick. But yeah, mine was college basketball number 1, 2 NFL, 3 UFC, 4 NHL, and 5 sprint car racing.
Yeah, I mean, 2 solid lists. If I wasn't worried about baseball, I would have taken UFC second, because UFC is one of my favorites to watch. But the reason I chose baseball, there is nothing like playoff baseball.
Oh yeah,
especially
whole different atmosphere.
Especially this past season's playoffs, insane.
Yeah,
nuts. Am I a huge fan of regular season baseball? Not really, because it's long. Don't get me wrong.
Right, long season.
Especially before the playoff break, because essentially everything that happens before the playoff break, the All-Star break, before that point, I'm not saying that it doesn't matter, but you can look like crap going into the All-Star break and then turn it around and then win the chip. So,
right.
I mean, I think two good lists there.
Yeah, no, I agree. The only one I'm concerned about is sprint car racing. I know that's one of my top 5, so I'm trying to be, genuine, not trying to appeal to the crowd here. But if there's not a lot of racing fans out there, they just don't understand or know the joys and excitement that sprint car racing brings to people. So, but we'll see. Okay, well,
right.
Very good. Anything else to add this week, Trent?
I don't think so. I think that's all I got.
Okay, well, very good. Well, we're wrapping up the final week of rifle season here this week in Pennsylvania. So if any of y'all are going out hunting this week, good luck to you. We appreciate you tuning in for another episode. Be sure to vote on the poll there on Instagram here on Tuesday. If by chance you don't have Instagram, there's some folks that email us at thejakebreakpodcast@gmail.com. Please let us know what you think of the show. Vote on our poll. Tell your friends, family, loved ones, all the above about the Jake Break, because like I said, going into the end of the year here and beginning of the new year in 2026, we want to bring you the best show possible and bring you the best entertainment that we can every single week. So with that, we'll wrap up another week in the books, episode 27. We thank you and we appreciate it. We'll see you soon.